Hey guys, Dave here from Cook and Share. Today we're going to do some Tuscan chicken. I did this video about 4 years ago and thought it is worthy of a redo because it is so easy, creamy, delicious, and relatively budget friendly. And we're also going to add in a few extra tips and revisions. So let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is grab up 3 boneless, skinless chicken breasts. Now you can also use chicken thighs because they tend to be a little bit juicier. Or I suppose you could use any chicken parts for that matter. And of course we're going to season these up with a good dusting of salt. I don't know, somewhere in the neighborhood of about a teaspoon. And of course some ground black pepper, and I'm going to use quite a bit of this because if you know me, you know I love ground black pepper. So maybe about a couple of teaspoons of this. After that, another dusting of oregano or oregano, and you know what, I would be inclined as well to put some Italian seasoning on this, because it has just about everything you would ever want in it, and also some paprika maybe. Then of course we're going to flip these guys over and do exactly the same thing for the other side. Alrighty then, fire up the old pan over medium-high heat, and we're going to add in a little bit of olive oil just so everything doesn't stick. Once your pan is up to temperature, we're going to add those chicken breasts in. And just be a little bit careful here not to get them too close together and overcrowd the pan. Then we're just going to go ahead and fry these up until they're cooked through and no longer pink. Of course, halfway through the cook, we're going to give them the old flipperoonie and cook them on the other side, and this shouldn't take very long depending on the thickness of your breasts. I don't want to be exact here, but I'd say about 4 minutes on each side, something like that. And believe it or not, chicken is tricky to cook because you don't want it overcooked. It's like an old shoe, and you don't want it undercooked, definitely not pink. But now we are cooked up here, so I'm just going to go ahead and set this aside on the plate to rest. Now in the same pan with those wonderful chicken flavors, I'm going to add in a good knob of butter, I'd say about a tablespoon or something like that, and just give it the old swirly twirly around and let it melt down. Then we go in with a good teaspoon of minced garlic. You can also use chopped garlic. And just kind of saute this and stir it around until that wonderful aroma fills the air. Now, something I didn't put in here and you could is a small chopped onion. That would be good as well. Okay, our garlic is all sauteed up, so now we're going to throw in about 12 or a couple of cups of cherry tomatoes that I've cut in half. And we're going to stir and saute these around just to the point where they begin to pop and kind of wilt a little bit. And there's nothing wrong with using grape or, whatever kind of little tomato you can find. Now, once our tomatoes are popping, so to speak, I'm going to go in with a good handful or 2 or 3 cups of baby spinach. Stir and cook this around for a couple of minutes, just to the point where that baby spinach begins to wilt. And this happens pretty fast. I mean, you can see it beginning to wilt, and it is wilted right about here. Okie dokie, so now let's go in with about half a cup of table cream. Now you can use whole cream, whipping cream, half and half, whatever you like. So what we'll do is bring this to a soft boil. Then in we go with a third cup of the old parmesan. Now, I'm using powdered parmesan because I'm cheap, but you can use the fresh grated stuff too if you like. And I think I'm just going to hit this up with a little bit more salt. And a tad more ground pepper after doing a taste test I didn't show. Grab up the old wooden spoon and give everything the old stir-rooney, and this is starting to look good, my friends. I mean, rich, creamy, and ever so delicious. Now, you probably guessed it here, feller home cooks. We are gonna go back in with that chicken that's been ever so patiently waiting and resting on the side. And I'm just going to allow this to simmer away for a couple of minutes on the one side while I grab up a spoon and spoon some of those juices over top of that chicken. Oh, the sauce over the chicken is going to be so good. And I really didn't show it here, guys, but I'm going to flip them over and do the same thing for the other side. Just a light simmer for a couple of minutes while spooning that sauce over. After simmering on each side, I'm going to give this a little squeeze of lemon just to wake it up for a little pop of freshness. Of course, we're going to garnish up our lives with some fresh parsley. And there you have it, my friends, our creamy, wonderful Tuscan chicken revisited. This is well worth making time after time after time. You pick this up and bite into it. It is creamy, and if the chicken is cooked right, it is tender, juicy, ever so wonderful. You are going to love this. And as always, if you do make it up, leave us a comment because we love to read them. Give us a like because it helps the channel out, and most of all, subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay safe, and we shall see you in the next video.